on. Boom. There we go. We are. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't want to give away the surprise just yet. Let's put that back there. But yeah, welcome to another version of Tomato Talk, Top in Mind, advancing through obstacles or opportunities. And I'm telling you, we're going to advance through opportunities. Why? It's easy. It's never easy. Gosh, I wish it really was easy. It's not easy. Oh, I had a conversation with somebody about marketing. You know, it's either boom, you're aiming for the immediate success, or more, you're going for the long term side of it. Let me tell you, you could pay for the immediate success, but ooh, you'll have to pay for the long term success too. But it's different. I think the long term success is really what it's all about, and that means a daily grind, a daily struggle, and it's probably every day, every other day, every third day. Like, oh man, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? That's it. I've had enough. I'm not going to do it anymore. It's just not worth it. Oh, those are the obstacles. Now, you look at those obstacles as opportunities, those challenges that we face. Man, where am I getting? Am I getting any place? Like I'm wearing my marathon shirt here today. Am I getting any place? You know what? If you got that attitude, if you got that right attitude, then all of a sudden it does happen. But oh, waiting to see results is sometimes quite the struggle as that goes along, without a doubt. Doug, good afternoon to you, my friend. Always a pleasure. But working through those things, that becomes the challenge. How do you do that? How do you do that? Well, right now I'm working through one of my. I mean, it's a good challenge. I'm calling this one an opportunity. So I got involved with the drag racing, and there's a whole number of different aspects of this whole thing. Why I'm excited about that. Briefly, real brief, because I want to get into the rest of this stuff over here. And Doug, it goes into the know your audience. Actually, it all filters down to knowing your audience. Why are you there? Why are you there? Well, first, you've got the personal reasons first. Why? Why do I have an interest in this motorsports idea of a drag strip on Long Island, of a motorsports park, of seeing it become something on a more permanent basis? Why? Entertainment. I remember growing up, let me tell you, my father, my friends, he used to take us down there. I remember my 13th birthday party, we went to Islip Speedway, for that. I had a ball. I got this car, the checkered flag, had a fun time with it. Other times went down there with the family and saw the figure eight racing, car Volkswagen racing, a football derby, a crazy thing, football demolition derby, plus the modifieds. Had a chance to see Richard Petty, Bobby Allison. So unbelievably cool at these things. Freeport Speedway, brought my own car there, this little 74 Capri. Got to find that photo. Got to find a bunch of photos. That's what's going to go up on the back wall over here. And my 74 Capri went down there and raced the darn thing. Raced it. Went up against a couple of cars, wound up beating the 57 Chevy, took home the checkered flag that night. Who knew? Who knew? I had a great time doing it. Had that confidence to do it, and I did it. Did not have the competency to do it, although I didn't wreck the car. That was good. A couple other people did. Really wonder how they explained that one out. But did that. So there's a lot of fond memories in there. So the entertainment aspect is good. We've gone out, not terribly often, gone out to Riverhead, seen the races out there. It's fun. It's fun. It's different. So the entertainment aspect is there. Let's get a little bit more on the serious side of things. What about the dollars? I don't mean the dollars attending this thing. I mean the dollars that are generated by the idea of motorsports on Long Island. Entertainment factor. What am I doing? Going out there, I'm spending money. Spending money on food, spending money on stuff, whether it's needed or not, but spending money on stuff, tickets, all the rest of that. But it's also supporting the racers. They get some prize money that goes along with it. All those careers that are there at the track, and supporting the automotive industry. So that's good. Tourist dollars, perhaps people come in from outside. The modified races that happen at Riverhead Raceway, Circle Track, it's a traveling tour. There's a lot of money that gets brought in by that. Those teams are spending money here. They're staying at hotels. They're spending money on food, all the rest of that. So it's an economic impact within the area from the racers and also from the tourists that would come in that might travel in from different areas to attend this thing. And that was actually how I got involved with the Long Island Needs a Drag Strip team, because it was a study that was done, and I had found out about it through Dennis Catoni, and then I had an opportunity to do a panel discussion for JVC Broadcasting, which we did, included that as one of the growth opportunities on Long Island, including around Ronkonkoma Hub and Islip Airport. Next thing you know, I'm now involved with Long Island Needs a Drag Strip because of the entertainment and because of the economic impact. It's really what clinched the whole thing and the interest there. And I'm going to tell you because I got the microphone. It's the long-term career impact on this thing. And I don't mean from the track operator. I don't even really mean from the folks that are working at the track that day. Most of these folks that are out there, with the dragway side of it, are volunteers. I don't know how the raceway operates, but a lot of them volunteers. But it's those businesses that are behind it. Something? Now all of a sudden, it's another way for them to market. It's another PR opportunity for them. All those photos that come out of it. So that's there. But if you take a look at the motivational side of it, hmm, auto racing on Long Island, what is that sprung? Sprung an awful lot of people doing an awful lot of creative things. And from what I'm told by one of the aerospace industries is that there is a ton of transferable skills from someone who is building a race car and learning all those things about structural steel, the strength of it, impact. It does happen. Planes happen too. How do we know? Well, if something crashes, we figure out a better way to make it safer. You've seen that with Formula One. So you're talking about some of those cars being unbelievably safe and saving lives, as the speeds continue to increase with these cars. Much safer today than they were 100 years ago, without a doubt. But they're learning about all kinds of safety features, structural designs, uh, computer-aided designs, so many things, welding, etc. that goes along with it. So from a motivational standpoint, track on Long Island, especially I think a dragway more than the raceway. The raceway, they go around in circles, right? So it's a little bit different. When I ran my car to free, back in the day, it was one lap around. Still could be. But a dragway that's designed more for the public than the professional race cars, where the focus is on anybody with a car that's got a muffler, anybody with a car that's in good shape, decent shape, with a couple of safety features in there, and not extreme safety features. Good tires is a thing, and a helmet. That might be the only real extreme different than your normal car safety feature can race. So I had a couple of conversations about that. It's like, well, if there was a dragway here, wouldn't that be a positive, perhaps a catalyst for the automotive programs in the high schools? Feedback I got back on that was yes. That was not my original thought, but that was quite the eye opener. I did not realize the long term implications of a racetrack. And the long-term implications of a racetrack means it could very well be a catalyst for the automotive programs, STEM programs, technical programs inside of these high schools where students can get involved and learn what they like and don't like. Maybe they don't really like building a car, but they love welding. Maybe they love designing the car, but don't want to get their hands dirty. They just love the computer aspect of it. Hey, maybe they just love the decorating of the car, the painting of the car. Maybe they like more the aerodynamics, the technical aspect of it. Maybe somebody's got to figure out a little bit more about these batteries, how to make them last a little bit longer. Maybe you install a solar panel on one of these cars. This way, it's had the energy for the car to completely generate its own power always and not have to plug into the electrical system. Maybe there's a whole lot of things that are maybe that I just have no clue in the world. But maybe a motorsports track could be a catalyst for these high school programs, could be a furtherance of the college programs, the BOCES programs, the Wilson Tech programs that are out here on the island. What did I find out? The answer to that is yes. After speaking directly to one of the aerospace companies, like, "Oh, absolutely. Absolutely," was the response I got back on that. And by the way, Brian, you might not know this, but when I went to college, gentleman was not 25 years old, there was another program that I got involved with where we actually built cars and airplanes through a college program that still exists today. Then I find out that Stony Brook University is actually participating in this. I think they had built the off-road vehicles. Huh? Did you know this? I didn't know this. I didn't know any of this stuff. So now I'm thinking that it would be a heck of a catalyst for our high schools, colleges, and technology programs for students to get involved in something that's exciting. It's not only going to build a car, look at it in the parking lot. They'll build a car and actually bring it out to the track and race it. You might even see that this year. Bring it out and race it. How cool would that be? Doesn't have to be street legal. It does have to have a muffler, and it does have to meet safety requirements, et cetera, as it should. So, what's the big deal? I don't think it really is. So that's kind of wild. Then I find out on top of the whole thing is that, hey, Alex, thanks for joining us over here. And Chris, good afternoon, sir. That the manufacturing group, this was part of the HIA, the Hop Hog Industrial Association, had a chance to really get to know the HIA Manufacturing Committee, Ron Loveland, and I mean, really got a chance to understand what was going on. So Ron's message that he's trying to deliver out, what he's trying to help, is the 3,000 some odd manufacturers on the island that are looking for not people to go to take jobs, but looking for people to go into careers in manufacturing. And there, a lot of them are really looking for those that are dedicated to it, that have got some knowledge, not extensive knowledge. There are positions where you need extensive knowledge, but some knowledge within the industry, within what it is that they're doing. But as I spoke to one of the metal manufacturing companies, what he wanted somebody with some knowledge. I mean, that's got competency in working with metal, but he wanted someone with an extreme interest in it, an extreme interest in futzing around with metal. It's my words, not his. But his customers are looking for items that are made that are custom. So how do you make custom metal items? I have no idea. Somebody else does. But it does take a creative mind, somebody with an interest in metal and thinking out of the box. As that goes, how does one do that? How does one get the experience? Huh, maybe building a car. And this high school in Oceanside is the one that seems to be the one that is the easiest one to highlight because they built a boat and a car. But these students have been totally involved in building a boat from scratch and building a car from basically scratch as that went along, and they've learned how to do this stuff. I'm sure that there were some students in there that are just there. It's just fun, and that's it, not career. I'm sure, I know, I spoke to the instructor about this, that some of these students that are there are just like totally, totally ingrained in the whole program, loving every aspect of it. Those, my friends, are going to be the ones that come and look at something creatively, especially if you're in high school, right? Because I'm sure their budget for this stuff is not extensive, so they got to figure out how to make do with what they got. That leads to creativity, doesn't it not? If you had all the money in the world, you could do anything, right? I mean, it's easy. You can get any part anyways. But if you don't, and you need to do something, all of a sudden you get a little bit more creative doing stuff. That becomes interesting. And if that student showed up at that metalworking company and said, "Hey, look, this is what we were doing, and this is how we did it, and this is what we had on hand, and this is how we created it, and it was kind of fun doing things a little bit different, but we achieved the same thing, structural strength, whatever it might be." Let me tell you something. That's an exciting interview, is it not? That would be the person that employer would be looking for out of that employee, and that's a career. And then those students will get the technical training and so on and so forth. So I do believe wholeheartedly that a motorsports park dragway would be a benefit to the Long Island community. So I'm all for it. Plus, personally, Hey, look, I've been speaking to high schools about and to the students on careers and stuff like that, and tell them to go figure out what it is that really gets them excited. Well, this might be it, might not be, but it might be it, you know? And there's all aspects of this whole thing too. I mean, look, somebody's into clothing, somebody's got to design a really cool fire retardant suit, racing suit and the rest of that stuff. So that's a part of it too. The whole bunch, a whole number of different things that are a part of it. Plus, they gave me a microphone, which is cool. Which really brings us to this whole thing. Hey, Carrie, good afternoon to you. It brings us to this whole thing. It's like, ah, how do you become effective with your audience? And Doug, you had mentioned this yesterday, right? You gotta really be, you gotta know your audience. How do you get a chance to know your audience? So it's a good question. How do you become a good communicator? Good question. So here it is. There's three different ways to become a good communicator. You got to have the confidence to do it. If you don't have the confidence to do it, you're not going to do it. It's like, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. You know, that imposter syndrome, we all have it. Make no bones about it. At some point in time in our careers, we're like, I don't think I'm really good enough to do this. Well, let me tell you something. The first time they gave the microphone out there, I knew I was not good enough to do this. And I had Johnny Consoli next to me. Johnny, thank you so much, my friend. And you wouldn't believe I met your cousin, if you ever hear this thing, John Consoli, who I actually was on a comedy stage with. Crazy world. But that's when I got the confidence to say that I'd like to do this thing in the first place. Plus, I had another challenge that came up. I was asked to be the sports announcer for a radio show. I said yes, and then I backed out of it because I couldn't talk the talk. So I said no. I had the confidence, but nowhere near the competency to do it. And it wasn't my show. So I didn't want to put that person in a bad spot. It was different. Here, well, the track operator for racetrack, not street, Pete Scalzo, I told him, I said, dude, man, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm good with doing this, but I have no idea what I'm doing. No problem. All you got to do is read numbers and stuff like that. Okay. Went out there the first time, did it all well and good. Johnny was sitting there next to me. I was like, okay, man, how do I do this? And he did it for a while before gave the mic over to me, made the whole thing happen. You know where I got hooked? You might not know. If you were there, maybe you know the rest of that stuff. Is that I had 10 minutes to ramble on. I had 10 minutes to talk about whatever came top of my mind. And what came top of my mind is how that track would be a catalyst for those high schools. And it was over at that point in time, I think I was speaking to me again, and I was hooked. Now, the question is, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I raise my level of competency? Because look, I don't race a car. I did that one lap around at Freeport Speedway. I don't think that qualifies me. I've been a spectator at that track a couple of times over. I've now announced 5 times over at the Epcot for the racetrack in that street crowd. Uh, you know, does that raise my level of competency? Somewhat. I've listened to some of the videos. I've got a long way to go. So, how do I improve myself? So know the audience. So if I'm at the track, here's what I do. One, I speak to the spectators, all well and good. Two, I will go to the tech area and kind of watch and see what's going on over there. Three, pit area. Just talk to some of the drivers. Look at the cars. Look at them a little bit differently. Get some of the stories behind it. Those are 3 ways that was brought up to me, if I believe it or not, by the NHRA, National Hot Rod Association. I attended an event that they did. It was on Zoom. It was great. And it was about how to become a more effective race car announcer, drag racing car announcer. It was fun. It was fun. And it was really good because it allowed me to hear what really became the most important thing is how do you become more effective with it? Pay attention to the audience. But one of the things he mentioned in there was to get firsthand experience. And I'm thinking, one lap around a 50-mile track at Freeport Speedway 40 years ago? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that really covers it. And there was no Christmas tree. It was only a flag man. And there was no shot in the world that I was going to beat this car. So I was just there, kind of having a fun time. Big 57 Chevy, the big tires, the whole my yards, the rest of that stuff. He dropped the green flag and I said, bye-bye. He just kind of left. And I just kind of fooled around, went as fast as I possibly could. I wound up beating the guy because he fishtailed at the end. he got loose. Coming out of the fourth turn, he got a little loose as he was coming out over there, and I just went right around the outside. I came up next to the wall and actually won. Crazy stuff. But here's what I did do, and I'm going to play this video over here, is that I mentioned this, and these folks out there, I got to tell you, what a wonderful crowd. So these folks out there had mentioned to me about, you know, why don't you go for a ride in the car? So Tony Costas, I'm going to share this with you. Tony Costas says, yeah, you could be my passenger. Well, folks, this is what it looks like. This is the starting area. We are in the staging area before we get up to the starting line over here. And as you can see, they're waiting instruction. He's waiting instructions. I'm trying to figure out how not to in this whole thing. And let's play it. Here we go. We just need the burnout. Pre-stage coming up on the lights. It's going to be good. There's the fans. There's the driver. Oh, can't believe that. Here we go. There's the guys that make it happen over here at the track. All right, time to pay attention. I'll move it down a little bit here. Dude, I can't tell you how excited this is. Hold up. Here we go. We good. White light. We're waiting. There's the fan. Parazzi. Slightly. Means ready to go.
He's ready. 1.
Good. Here we go.
Ready 2. Hang on. Last yellow, I leave.
That's awesome, man. Oh, that's great.
Let's take that up. I didn't think so.
Oh, that was good. And then we come back around again over here. Wow, there's a lot of space down here. I haven't walked down in this spot. What a ride that is. Thank you so much.
That's it.
Yeah, let's twirl this around here a little bit. There we go. That's what it looks like. All helmeted up. Very good. Oh, he's already got the helmet up. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's quite a ride.
He's videoing the car.
Oh, he's waiting. Oh, taking photos. Everybody's taking photos out here. There we go. He's good. And no, way we go. So what's happening now is that we're going backwards. Well, not going backwards. We're going back to the beginning area. The U-turn area.
This is the return road.
The return road.
And we're going to grab a time slip and see how fast we went.
All right. So the time slip measures a couple of different things. It's reaction time. And as far as I know.
I actually cut a really close light, so I red lit.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah, I red lit. So even though I beat the guy, technically I lost, but I red lit. But I'm just doing it to get a time anyway.
Okay. Well, it was a lot of fun going down there. My man Alex.
Look, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
They announced that I was in the car. And I was announcing these things. That's why a little overdressed for the occasion. Woo! Hey, it's all about the fans, man. I got to tell you. Let's turn it around. There we go. Look at it. It's all about the people. Woo! And this is where he gets the time slip. Pete too. That's Pete, by the way. It's all good. There we go. Now we're getting the slip over here. There we go. Set the timing slip.
I ran a 770.
770 was the time on there.
A .03 red light. I failed.
.03 red light. So
it was almost unmeasurable.
In our language, he jumped a little bit too soon. .03, 3,000 of a second. No, we're good. I'll go ahead. So it's 3,000ths of a second prior to the light going green. He went. So technically he lost. And there's a few different ways to technically lose. It's going over the line. Of course.
A really good 60-foot. It actually hooked really well.
In between, but man, what an experience. So he's just saying he had a good 60-foot, and what it means is that once the car got going, and it went going immediately, it was absolutely terrific. Man, I got a passenger. I know, that was quite the ride, man. I got to tell you. I'm hooked.
1.760 foot.
We're okay.
I was like,
So lately, I'm going to get going here. Hey, listen, absolutely terrific. Thank you so much, everybody. Just really great stuff. And thank you to, oh man, quite a laundry list to make this thing work.
I ran 7.
All right, so there is let's go back to StreamYard. We'll stop sharing that one as that goes. But I got to tell you, yeah, that was pretty wild, without a doubt. I had a great time doing it. For one, Tony Costas, who drove the car, I can't thank him enough. I'd mentioned that in 1 week. I was like, oh, I don't know. I've never been that track. Why don't you come with me? I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I did, but then he married and ended deal. I called home. I was like, hey, hon. So anyhow, thanks, hon. Giving me the permission to go and do that. So I bring this up with well, let's go with with why. So on that meeting that I did with the NHRA, it was certainly brought up. It's like, well, how could you talk about something? And this goes to the competency side of things. How could you talk about something if you never did it before? Good point. Good point. So that's as close as me doing it, that I've become. I've been to the car shows, all the rest of that stuff, but not actually driving the car down the track over there. So that might be not going to drive his truck. No way. That's not it. It's just to get the feel of it. So if I still had that 74 Capri, boy, that'd have been cool actually if I did. But so we'll see. We'll see if I'm able to take a run or two down there. So that would be one way to increase your competencies by doing it. And I can tell you right now, your competency level in so many different places is there. Forget this imposter syndrome thing. It's a part of it. It's a part of it. Am I qualified enough to speak in front of 50 people, 100 people? In this case, it was a bit more than that. You know what? The reality is, for most of us, you are, because you know your stuff and your thing. And if you don't, well, you would never apologize. You don't apologize to an audience. I did that one time. It was a speech contest. It was about baseball. So I was in the middle of the speech. It's like, I really don't know anything about baseball. Boom. I lost. I didn't have to tell him that. I just had to give my opinion of whatever the topic was that I was talking about. And my point of view on it, my point of view is my point of view. They weren't asking me technically what's the weight of a bat or anything like that. That wasn't it. Like, here is the other thing. Should I go up there and say, hey man, I don't know anything? No. Could I say that I'm on a learning curve with you? I think that would be a way to connect with the audience. So I'm taking all of these things into account, and my goal is to become a more competent communicator when it comes to the races. So really, what do you need? You need confidence to do it. Okay, that's a part of it. You need the competency. That certainly is a part of it, and that's my learning curve over here. And you need the communication skills to do it. So without singing that song from Meatloaf, and I think we got a Meatloaf event coming up over here, Bat Out of Hell. Yeah, that's right, July 17th, Alex. I didn't forget. Meatloaf, but I'll use a reference there. So I got 2 out of 3. I can communicate and I'm confident. My competency level, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But we'll get there with the rest of it. And listen, I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. And here's what's going on. We're at 30 minutes. This board will turn into, you know, the pit area, the staging area, all the rest of that's up that return lane, and a couple of other key terms in here that I really should know, including what's going to come up over here, and that's the tower, the announcer's box. That's where it goes. But here is the stands, and here are the food trucks. So where do you think I'm going to be? If I'm the one telling stories and bringing the audience into it, I may just broadcast right from there. No, not from the food truck. Can't figure out how to talk to with mouth food in my mouth yet. But from the stands, got wireless mics. Why not? Why not? And then there's a new board out there, so I'll be able to see anything that way too. So that should be pretty cool. Listen, without a doubt, I say this here a lot. I just love the fact that that crowd has allowed, embraced, supported my participation with the whole thing. Having a great time out there. But just because they're having a great time out there does not mean there's a real true message over here. And I really think, I really do believe that the auto sports and a motorsports park or drag racing on Long Island will be an incredible catalyst for the technology, automotive, STEM programs, even the audiovisual programs in these high schools. And the younger we can expose our high school students to these various careers, the better off they will be, the better off our communities will be, better they're going to be financially too, because now they're going into careers at an earlier age, not just taking student loans for the sake of taking student loans. And that'll help this entire community, not just ours. Spoke to someone down in Texas, same kind of thing going on. You know, these companies are looking for employees. How do they get employees that really care about what it is that they're doing? Take a look at the high schools, colleges, see what they've been doing all along. I'm going to tell you. And these students, if they're that good, they're going to go directly from high school or a vocational program, right over to these careers. Paid internships, yeah. Yeah, Tesla offers a paid internship with some of the students in the automotive program at Suffolk Community College. Hmm. There's a lot of possibilities here. Serious, long term, good possibilities with just a drag strip. Did I use the word just? I'm out of here now. Speak well, speak often, live inspired. See you at the track.